This next example, you're going to have another scenario you might run into when you're adding these. First off, we look at our denominators. I see a 6 and I see another 6. So we know that our answer is going to be something over 6. And I'm going to look at my numerator and I'm going to see 4 and a 4. So if I take 4 plus 4, I'm going to end up with 8. This looks a little funny because it is an improper fraction. I see an 8 over a 6. If you run into an improper fraction, I would like you to convert it into a mixed number. This is how you do that. You're going to set it to an equal sign. Your denominator is going to move over, because we know it's going to be something over 6. And I want to know how many times will 6 go into 8. 6 will go into 8 one time. So that's how many whole numbers you will have. And after I see how many times 6 will go into 8, how many 6th will be left over? Well, if 6 went in there, I'm going to count up to 8. So 7, 8. And I know that I'm going to have 2 6ths that are left over. So that will convert into 1 and 2 6ths. Okay? Another example that you might run into is when we start subtracting. You might have a 1 minus 4 6ths. This is kind of hard to set up, but as you remember, we have names for number 1 that we can use. I'm going to take a look at the denominator that I have, which is 6, and I'm going to set this 1 equal to something with a denominator that's 6. So in this case, I'm going to set this 1 to 6 over 6. And I'm kind of going to even ignore this 1. I don't need to look at it anymore. What that means is, when I look at this denominator and this denominator, I'm going to have a 6 underneath here. And then, looking at my sign, making sure I don't make a mistake, I see a minus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract a 6 minus 4. If I do 6 minus 4, I'm going to end up with 2 6ths. Probably the biggest mistake that I've seen when I'm teaching this to 4th graders is 4th graders that ignore this sign. That is when you'll do your work and you'll be so proud and you'll hand it in to Mr. Scott and you will say, Mr. Scott, look at this lovely work that I have done. And I look at it and you didn't pay attention to the sign, so your number will be incorrect. Okay? There's some practice that I need you to do on 303 and 304 in your book. That's 303 and 304. This is going to be the last lesson that you need to work on for this first week when we get through. Good luck to you guys. I miss you. We'll see you later.